The film begins with a woman named Annie, who has shifted to a new house with her mother and 3 children, because she had a fight with her husband due to some reason and she was raising her children alone. Annie's mother had cancer, but she believed that she is alive today only because of God. She was very religious, so she used to go to church daily. She had a lot of faith in God and used to pray there. Talking about Annie, she was not at all religious, nor were her 2 sons, so they also did not go to church. It was only her daughter who used to go to church with her grandmother. Ever since she had a fight with her husband, Annie had started feeling very disturbed, due to which she used to drink a lot and also behaved very strictly with the children. She was also very stingy in matters of money, due to which the children did not like her. Even she did not get along with her mother. Now one day when they were having dinner, Anne's younger son Andrew asks for milk, and refuses, saying that the doctor has said that you are allergic to milk and you should not be given too much milk, so you will not get milk. On this, Andrew says that, "Mom, no doctor has said this. You are just being stingy." Hearing this, Evany gets angry. She slaps him on the face, due to which blood starts coming out of Andrew's mouth, and cleans his face and says, "Oh, I am sorry, son. You have hit too hard." At night, Anne's daughter complains to her dad and says that even after coming to the new house, Mom is doing the same things. She has started drinking alcohol again and behaves very badly with us, even beats us. She was talking about this when suddenly she starts smelling something. When Anne was doing her work, a fly starts bothering her, and sees that there are other flies in the room too. A lot of flies have come which were coming from the basement. When Ebony opens the basement door and looks inside, a very bad smell is coming from there. Now she removes the flies with a cloth towards the basement. Annie closes the door and leaves from there. At 3 o'clock in the night, Andre suddenly wakes up. He was hungry, so he takes out milk from the fridge and starts drinking it, but suddenly there is a loud sound on the window, which frightens him. When Andre goes out and looks, there is a dead crow lying there, which had hit the window. Next day, when all 3 siblings were returning from school, some boys started to bully Andre's elder brother. They started to trouble him. One boy even threw a stone at him, which hurt his head, but he still does not say anything to them and quietly leaves from there. In the house, Ebony finds a bottle of alcohol in her elder son's cupboard. As soon as she comes, she tells her son to come home. Annie asks Andre, "What is my liquor bottle doing in your cupboard? Since when have you started drinking?" Then her son tells Batty Ma Somia that, "Mom, I don't drink, but I have kept it hidden from you so that you don't drink." Annie asks her daughter how did she get hurt on her head, when she tells that the boy from the street hit her. Then Ebbing gets very angry. She immediately goes to the street and beats that boy badly and says that from now on stay away from my children. Then when she was sitting, flies start bothering her again. This time also these flies were coming from the basement. Then she sees that Andre is talking to someone alone. Annie also asks, "Who are you talking to?" Then he says to his friend, whose name is Trey. Annie feels strange to hear this, but she thinks that maybe Andre must have made an imaginary friend of his. That's why he is talking to this. She avoids the topic. At night Andre went to the basement and Annie starts hearing strange sounds again. She came down to check and found the basement door open. Andrew must have left it open while leaving. So she closes the door and goes to sleep. The next day when Annie's mom went to the hospital for her checkup, she finds out that the staff is not paying for her treatment, but Annie is sending money for her treatment without telling them. Knowing this, she understands why Annie is so miserly. At night, Annie's son sees that she has come home drunk again, which makes him feel very bad. When Annie comes, her mom says, "I have come to know that you are paying for my treatment." I am unable to understand. Daughter, what should I say to you? How should I thank you? Annie says, you don't need to say anything. Mom, it's my duty. Saying this, she goes to sleep. Then she had a scary dream that a man has entered her room. Suddenly, Annie woke up in fear. Then she saw that the door was open and suddenly closed with a loud bang, as if someone had just left the room. Annie felt that a thief must have entered the house. So she took a bat and started checking downstairs, but she did not find anyone there. Then she saw that the basement door was still open, and now a worse smell was coming from there than before. This made Annie upset and she started vomiting. Then her elder son came from behind and said, when you checked my cupboard, then why did you take my money from there? Annie said, first tell me, from where did you get so much money? He told her that I am saving money so that I can go and live somewhere else because I do not want to live with you. He asked for his money back. This made Annie angry. She slaps her son on the face. Her son also got angry and pushed Abning, due to which she fell down. This made her lose her mind. She gets up to hit her son, but then Andre comes to help his brother, but he collides with something and falls down. Abning quickly goes and catches him. Abning's elder son taunts her that, wow mom, you are doing a very good job of being a mother to your children. You should get the award for being the best nominee. Saying this, he leaves in anger. After some time, Abning returns his money and says that, son, please don't leave me. I am trying to change myself. I will live with you people lovingly. Now, being troubled by the flies and the smell. The next day, Abning calls the pest control people to check the basement, but they find a dead cat there, but instead of removing the cat, the workers take very good care of the cat. He asks for all the money. Annie did not have that much money, so she refuses, but then her elder son comes and gives the money to the worker. Next day, a social worker also comes here, who had come to see how Annie is living with her children, whether she is living well or not. Actually, because Annie's daughter had complained to her father had filed a case against Annie that she is not fit for the custody of the children. The children should not live with her. She drinks alcohol and beats the children. The social worker sees that there is a mark on her son's arm. Andre is also injured, about which she asks him, but the children do not tell her anything and avoid the matter. But the social worker understood that the children are hiding something. Abeli must have beaten them. So she warns Annie and leaves from there. Coming out, they see that another woman is keeping an eye on them, but she is not telling them anything. Thinking that she must have come with the social worker, they ignore it. The next day was Annie's son's birthday. Annie throws a birthday party for him and gifts him the same expensive phone that her daughter had been asking for so long. Her daughter is happy and hugs her mother. During the party, Avni hears a thumping sound coming from the basement. When she checks, Andre is standing there, banging his head on the door. His behavior is also very strange. Avni is surprised to find him there and says, I had made you sleep upstairs, then what are you doing here? Then Andre replies that he had come to meet his friend Trey, who lives in a hole in the basement. Annie finds this strange. When she checks on Andre, he has high fever. So, Annie takes him back upstairs to his room and puts him to sleep. After the party is over, Eben sees him. That Andrew is standing downstairs again, and this was the third time he had gotten up from his bed, and since Avni was also feeling very sleepy, she sends Andrew upstairs again and goes to sleep, but at midnight again the whole house starts to hear the sound of thumping and banging. This time everyone could hear these sounds. Annie shouts and tells the children not to make noise and sleep quietly. But when the sounds did not stop even then, Annie got angry. She goes to the children to check, and we could hear the children screaming. Hearing these sounds, Eben's mom also came there and saw that the children were sitting against the wall in fear, and Annie was sitting in front of them in a strange condition. Seeing the whole situation, Annie's mom felt very strange. She asks the children what is happening here. Then the children say that mom was hitting them against the wall. On this, Avni got angry. Crying, she says, "No, mom, I did not do anything like this. Now tomorrow it will be a shame," because all three children start doing strange things after going to school. Andre urinates during the class. Not only this, but he also starts eating it, and when the teacher stops him from doing so, he throws the same thing at the teacher. His sister also goes to her teacher and says that blood is coming out of my body, which means he has got a female problem. When Anne's elder son was in class, during a lecture he started laughing loudly. The teacher also came to stop him, but his laughter did not stop. In such a situation, he sat on the ground and started laughing even more. After this, all three children are taken to the hospital for a checkup. During the brain test, when Andre is shown a picture of a crow, he calls it Trey. After testing all the three children, the doctor tells Abani that the reports are absolutely normal and the children are absolutely fine. Hearing this, she starts arguing with the doctor and says that my son did all that after using the toilet. This is not normal. You must have made some mistake. You should do the test again. The doctor gets angry at this. She starts questioning Abani that there are injury marks on the children's body. First, tell us how they happened. Annie does not answer and quietly leaves from there. Coming out, Abani's mom tells her that you were needlessly arguing with the doctor. She is right that the reports are normal and the children are fine because, according to me, something else has happened to the children. Some paranormal thing. I mean that I feel that there is an evil spirit in the house and it is doing all this. After coming home, Abani's mom puts a cross on the wall. Then Abani says, "Mom, these are all useless things. Nothing can be done with them." No, it happens then. When Eben goes to bathe Andre, she sees that my elder son is holding Andre tightly. A boy comes and he is trying to drown him in the bar tub. Abni immediately runs and tries to free Andre, but she was holding him very tightly. Now she uses all her strength to pull her elder son away, and thus Andre's life is saved. Then Abni's mom also comes here, and Abni's elder son hugs his grandmother and starts crying and says that I don't know why I was doing this. It seemed as if someone else was making me do it. Now, due to such strange things happening with the children, Annie does not take them to school for a few days. The social worker also comes to know about this. So the next day she comes to see the children, but Annie does not let her meet the children and tries to explain to her that very strange things are happening with my children. Then Abni's mom comes with a bat in a very angry mood and she pushes the social worker out of her house. The same strange woman has come outside again. Anne's mom abuses the priest who is taking their photos and drives her away. After this, Anne's mom goes to her church to ask for help. They told her that there is an evil spirit in their house, so please help them, but the church people refused, saying that they cannot help her and she should go to someone else to ask for help. The same unknown woman comes to meet and who is being thought to be the social worker's partner, but she was someone else. She tells Anne that I know you are troubled. Strange things are happening to you because your house is haunted. You are in trouble and God has sent me to help you because I am a priest. She tells Anne about the history of this house and shows her a family's photo and says that 20 years ago a family used to live in this house and the same thing happened to their younger son, which is happening to you now. This is happening with my son Andre. They had treated their son in every possible way, but it did not make any difference. Then they talked to me and asked for help. Hearing this, Avani says that then you must have performed the exorcism of that child. That is, calling that spirit inside the child and driving it away. Then the priest says that no, I am not an exorcist who does exorcism. Rather, I am a spirit, and I then performed deliverance on him, which is different from exorcism. In this, to drive away that evil spirit, we do not have to call it inside someone, but only by touching that evil spirit with some holy thing like holy water or any other clean thing like this, that evil spirit is driven away. That is, the one on whom we suspect that there is a spirit inside, like it seems inside your son Andre at this time. The priest further tells that, but at that time I was not successful in performing the deliverance. It failed, due to which I could not save their child. Pi died, but everything remained the same even after the child's death. After some time, the child's mother did not know what happened. In the middle of the night, she killed her sleeping husband by cutting his head with an axe. Then she killed her daughter too and finally killed herself. Now Annie asks the name of the child of the family who died first. Priest tells that his name was Trey. Hearing this, Annie is shocked. She tells the priest that Andre has made an imaginary friend of his whose name he also told me was Trey. Priest says that he is not a friend but an enemy because he is a devil who comes in front of children in the form of children so that he can deceive them, and while doing this he will take away your son. Now hearing this, Annie gets angry because she does not believe in God. How do I believe in the devil? So she says to the priest, "What nonsense are you talking about?" and scolds him even more. After scolding her, she starts to leave from there, but while leaving the priest forcefully gives her his address and says that keep it. You will need it. You will definitely come to me. See there. In the house, Annie's mother hears a demonic voice calling her name. She gets very scared and quickly goes to get the whole book. But on returning, all the demons of the house attack her and kill her. When Annie comes home, she sees that the cross on the wall was burning, due to which smoke was spreading all over the house, and when she goes to extinguish the fire, she sees her mother's dead body lying there, due to which she gets very scared and starts crying. Just then, Andrew comes down the stairs, and the sound of both the children screaming comes from above, so Annie immediately starts to leave from there with the children. Then on the way, Andrew's behavior changes a lot. He tells Eben that you yourself are responsible for your mother's death, and immediately her eyes turn completely black. Seeing this, Annie gets very scared and her attention is diverted from the car. She does not see the truck coming from the front, but before that the truck collides with her. She manages to control the car just in time. Then she stops the car at a place and goes to a nearby hotel to ask for help. She tells them crying that someone wants to kill her children. When they went to see, everything was absolutely normal and the children were also sitting perfectly fine. Seeing this, those people got very angry at Annie and started calling her crazy. After this, Anne's brain is tested. The doctor asks her if she still drinks alcohol, but she lies and says no. But the doctor caught her lie because her drink test came positive. Therefore, the custody of the children is taken away from Annie and given to a church. The children are taken in front of her, and she is unable to do anything, just watches. She was in tears because of all this, and now, tired and exhausted, she goes to the priest to ask for his help. The social worker comes to see Andre in the hospital, whose condition was getting worse. She tells her that Andre is behaving very strangely. Don't know what kind of voices he was making. Some time ago he was talking in some other language. The priest tells Annie that there are many demons in your house, and one of them has possessed your son Andre. That is, he is in his control, and through him he is able to control your other two children as well. He makes weak people like you his prey, but now I will make you strong and teach you to believe in God. The priest gives her courage here and teaches her to pray and ask for blessings. When the social worker goes to talk to Andre in the hospital, he says in a devilish voice that I am not Andre. She asks then, who are you? Then the demon inside Andre says, first open my belts, then I will tell you who I am. On this, the social worker says, "I am not going to do anything like this." Then the demon uses his full force and breaks his belts himself. He falls straight from the bed to the ground, then starts climbing the wall with his hands and feet. Seeing this, she gets very scared and quickly comes and tells the doctor about all this, but the doctor does not believe her. Then Abeli comes to the hospital in the guise of a nurse and cleverly takes Andre out of the hospital, where Priest was waiting for her in the car outside because she was about to deliver, and then both of them come to the same haunted house with Andre. Priest tells Avni that during the delivery, the demon will try to trick us to trap us. He can take the form of any of your family members, so don't worry and be careful. After this, the priest, while delivering, pours holy water on Andre, due to which Damon starts to suffer, and suddenly he takes the form of Annie's mom. He abuses them and starts making fun of both of them, but the priest ignores his words and continues delivering, but suddenly Damon frees himself and starts laughing loudly. Strange things started happening with those two children in the church. Annie's daughter's eyes and mouth start bleeding. Along with that, her brother's hands also became like Damon's, and he had big nails with which he starts scratching his own chest. The priest sends Avni up and starts to face Damon alone, but the demon again takes the form of Andre and disappears from there. Now, before the priest could understand anything, Damon, he grabs her by the throat and starts hitting her against the wall. He beats her badly. Sometimes he drags her by the hair and beats her. Sometimes he throws her in the air and then throws her down. After some time, Annie comes down to check. She sees that the priest is lying on the ground in an injured state, and Andre is sitting near him and laughing. Then suddenly he disappears. Annie comes to the priest, whose condition was very bad. She is counting from the last minute. She tells Annie that she has failed and gives her holy water and says that now you will have to do this work. Saying this, she dies. After this, she starts looking for her Andre. While searching for him, she comes to the basement, but she does not find Andre anywhere. Then suddenly he appears in front of her. Without wasting time, Abe pours holy water on him, due to which D-Man starts feeling pain and he attacks Abe in anger. He drags him by the hair. Then he takes the form of Annie and tries to kill her by strangling her, but the demon does not kill her because he tortures her to make her suffer. By doing this, he was weakening her, and when Annie breaks down completely, he comes to kill Eben. He tries to kill her by strangling her by placing his foot on her, and Annie comes very close to death when she sees her mother in her mind, who makes her talk to God. As soon as this happens, Annie gets good thoughts and courage, and all the evil inside her goes away, due to which she becomes very powerful because now she also has faith in God. Once again she delivers on the demon, due to which the demon starts burning and completely burns to ashes. As soon as this happens, Anne's daughter, who was flying in the air in the church, comes back on the bed, and Ebony's son, who was eating himself, becomes completely normal. That too stops, and the demon goes back through the same hole in the basement from where he came, i.e. to hell, and everything becomes fine. After this, we see the time after 6 months where Annie got the custody of her children back. She and her children are very happy. Annie leaves not only this house but also this city. She also broke up with her husband, and she is going to her husband with her children, where they decide to live like a happy family. Annie also became completely fine, and she also stopped drinking alcohol, and this family decides to always stay together, and the story ends with this happy ending.